This episode of Film Riot is brought to you by Domain.com.
Did you hear that? Sounded like something was in the attic. I guess not.
What are you doing?
I heard something.
There it is again. Sound in the attic.
Riot, there's nothing in the attic.
I have been telling you nonstop that there is something. I am hearing it all night. There's something up there. All right, that's it. We're checking this out. Come on.
Why do I have to go in the attic? You're older, you
boss.
go!
So go.
It is scary as shit up here!
Get up there.
I'm going!
Up into the void he goes, into the darkness above, where something unknown waits, hungry for blood.
What? What? Nothing.
Oh. Hey there, little buddy. It's just a guinea pig. Oh! Stark! What the What the is it? It's Stark!
Are you f***ing kidding me?
I'm serious!
Why are we cursing so f***ing much?
What the Stark? Seriously! Woo! Woo!
So,
It's nice to have you back.
well, yeah, it is.
What?
He says he's been here the whole time.
Like since we moved to Texas?
How did I miss that? Dude, Stark's here.
Yeah, he's been living in the attic since we moved to Texas.
Welcome to Film Riot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects, techniques, going to some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and Stark is back. He's not visiting, he's like full on back, full time with Triune and Film Riot, and we are extremely excited about that. If you're newer to the show, you may not remember Stark, but for those of you that have been around for at least 3 years, you should know him well. So great news there. Really happy to have the little creeper back on board. Oh, me! Stark! Oh my God! But today we are answering this lovely Twitter person's request. I'm trying to get a piece of food to fly into an actor's mouth, kind of like this, and then there was a YouTube video, which I totally watched. Could you help me out? I did watch the video, and it was a Sweet Roll commercial, which I can't show because I don't have permission and I don't like getting sued, but it was basically what we did with Stark, so let's do it! If you are curious to see the commercial that Eric is referring to, check out the info section below and we'll add a link there so you can check it out and stuff. But let's jump into how we did ours. First up is how we shot this bad boy. We needed 3 shots to combine together later. First one was of the roll flying towards Stark's face. I did this by taking a piece of fishing wire, pushing it through the roll, then held it there with a small piece of wood so that it wouldn't rip out the other end when I tugged on it. Then I had Stark sit in the position he would be and yank the roll towards his mouth, doing my best to hit him directly in the face.
Yes!
Once I had a shot of the roll taking the path that I wanted it to, I moved on to the next, which is Stark inhaling towards the roll, then acting out and coming to him with that movement back. For the last shot, we put the roll in Stark's mouth.
Here you go, buddy.
and had him act out his movement again, making sure that he didn't move his hands between the last shot and this shot. Then for this last shot, he's able to finish it all off, take the roll out of his mouth, and start eating it. So now in After Effects, we're going to drop in the final shot that we did where Stark has the roll in his mouth. Then on top of that, we're going to put the one where he doesn't and he's acting out the inhale. And then finally, on top of both of those, we're putting the one with the roll on the string. After that, we're going to time all these to match. Then I will mask around the roll in that top layer. And as it moves through the air towards his mouth, I'm going to follow it frame by frame to mask it there as well. And now in the last frame before it hits his mouth, you can see that it's not quite high enough, but since I have it masked out, I can just adjust the position, and there you go. Now in our second layer, which is the one without the roll and with the inhaling, we're gonna mask around Stark so that we keep him and lose everything else, which reveals our other two actors on the other side of the table. And this is the track that we're gonna use for them the entire video. That way their video never cuts.
That's the worst. Dad! Hey, Dad!
Now we cut the second layer, which again is the one without the roll in his mouth, right at the spot that he's supposed to be catching the roll. This will reveal the layer below it, which has the roll in his mouth. Now we're gonna make sure to move that bottom layer around to best match where his head was in that second layer. And finally, I'm gonna open opacity on the second layer and set a keyframe for 100 on the second to last frame, and then about 60% for the final frame, which adds just a bit of smoothness to the transition. And now we have this. Once again, we're using simple ideas to create fun effects. What makes it work and hides the cut is motion. Now, I only had Stark move just a little bit in these shots because I wanted to see how far I could push it, but if you really want to hide the cut, have your actor move a lot more than I had Stark move. The opacity change also isn't a must. I used it to smooth mine out, but you might not even need it, so test it with and without on your shot. But that's basically it. You could also maybe use a still of the roll flying through the air if you didn't want to mask it frame by frame moving, but I wanted the real motion in that shot. Either way, super easy and effective. But now a quick break, and then we use the Force. Domain.com is the place to go if you're trying to get yourself seen on the interwebs. If you want to get a website up and going, you're going to need a domain name. You're going to need some hosting, and Domain.com is the place to go to do both those things. They got the hosting service that's reliable and affordable. They got the domain discovery service to help you pick the right name for you.
I'm going to start a website.
Come on, we were so close. We got so far.
Hugs.com.
Oh,
Just sending hugs to everybody.
that's really nice. That's good.
Yeah.
You should get that. And you know what? If the Hugs.com is taken, use the domain discovery service to help you pick a name.
About the hugs is that my arms are wrapped in blades, so when I hug them, death among everyone.
Use a coupon code FilmRiot at checkout to save yourself 15% off your domain name and web hosting. When you think domain names, think domain.com.
My tagline is, love kills.
Logo.
Here's Josh being awesome.
Nerd.
There are a ton of ways to handle this effect. The easiest way would be just to reverse the footage. But that usually looks a touch off and typically feels like a reverse effect. It takes a lot of work to get it to look right, and usually some cutting to hide that reverse look. In this first example here, we're just using that fishing line again. We attached it to the lightsaber, then ran it through the right shoot edit repeat wristband that Josh is wearing.
Which is on sale now at TriumphStore.com!
Sorry. Then the line goes off camera where it is pulled at the right time by an assistant. That's it. Super easy. Or you could do this. This one is done using that cutting on motion technique that we showed from before, starting with the shot of Josh doing a motion call for the lightsaber. Then I have him repeat that last motion again, this time with the saber in his hand. To add the lightsaber flying through the air, we're gonna do pretty much the exact same thing that we did with the roll. We have the line on the lightsaber, we're gonna yank it through the air, then mask it as it goes so we can adjust if need be. Then we're gonna composite all that together to end up with this. Easy like Josh working the corner.
That makes no sense.
But that's it for today. As always, you can find me on Twitter right here. And if you do want some of our filmmaker gear, check out our store. And I'll see you guys next week when I'm able to save the cat, but the rest of the crew dies.
Action. Oh, come on. Ready and action.